Jean Clements? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Jean Clements, President of the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association. Madam Chair and board members, it's clear that you have some concerns about problems and processes within the Transportation Division. And some of you have expressed a great lack of confidence with that division or your district's ability to properly manage that division. It is perhaps for that reason that the question of whether or not you should look at privatization and privatizing the district's transportation services has been raised. Reasons for privatizing are most often related to alleged cost savings, transfer of responsibility and liability, or level of expertise. So I want to point out some of the fallacies of that thinking. I don't think any of you think there's much or any money to cut in your transportation budget, or that your bus drivers or attendants are overpaid or have Cadillac benefits. If so, you'd be mistaken, but I don't think any of you think that. You really can't get the same for less money. You certainly cannot get better for less money. Private contractors may cut costs either to win a contract or later to maintain profit. And that will threaten student health and safety, because the only ways to cut costs are going to be to lower wages, resulting in less qualified personnel and greater turnover, or imposing a reduction in personnel, leading to safety and workload problems, or the use of inferior equipment. Privatization also inevitably leads to accountability problems. When the school district no longer has direct control over the services it is responsible for delivering, parents no longer have direct access to the provider of the service, making our public school system less open and accountable and more closed and secretive. Private companies cannot be held to the same standard of public scrutiny as school districts because they're not subject to the same requirements for open meetings, public information, and public input. As the school district, you will still be ultimately responsible for the health and safety of your students and the service provided to them, even though you'll be less able to control the quality of service. It's clear you have a group of employees with significant challenges and needs which need to be addressed. But rather than wasting time looking into privatization options, which will not solve your problems, nor help your loyal and dedicated employees, I would urge you to get busy using your own highly qualified staff to work with your employee unions, both HSCF and HCTA, to address and fix these problems and take care of your employees. I know you've started that process. I know you're taking this seriously. There is no point or gain to be had by getting distracted with the study of privatization options. These employees deserve to have their concerns addressed, not to have their school board waste time looking at privatization. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clements.